Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Gorax and welcome back to some Age of Wonders 3. This time I'm gonna be doing some sort of a impression kind of thing because I haven't been playing this weekend because of the awesome weather. But today is Sunday the 30th and tomorrow the game will release. The release date is set to the 31st of March. So I kind of thought let's do an impression kind of thing just to wrap up the experience I had so far, and maybe this will help you as well to decide if you get the game or not. So in the background you will see some gameplay. I just made a new map with the random map generator. Made myself a quick new draconian hero, just to get something going in the background. But what I'll be doing, I wrote down some thoughts on my notepad here, and I'm just gonna point them out and talk a little bit about the game in general and what I think of it. And I'm probably gonna call it Impressions of a Noob because this is Age of Wonders 3 is actually the first turn-based games I ever played. I knew Civilization series. I've never played them. I just watched videos of them and I thought, nah, that's not the kind of thing of me. But Age of Wonders actually taught me something better. I could not stop playing, and I wish this game would come out in autumn or winter. So when it's cold outside, it's raining or snowing, you just get cozy on the computer and you dive into this fantasy world. But unfortunately, spring is starting, the sun is out, weather is nice, women are nice, so yeah, that's why I didn't play this weekend. But hey, so in the background you just see some gameplay. This is not a live commentary. I'm just sitting in a microphone right now and just talk about what I wrote down, some bullet points of what my thoughts are, and this gameplay is actually what I've played just before. So yeah, it would be great, the weather would be bad, rainy outside, you sit inside, cozied up and all, but it doesn't really matter. Age of Wonders 3 won't have any problems to lure the fans or supporters of King's Bounty or Heroes of Might and Magic back into the PC room. I will guarantee you guys that you won't want to see the sun anytime soon, because after starting playing this mix of a turn-by-turn based research and tactical fights and roleplay events, you don't want to get up and get out. I had to force myself to actually get out in the sun and meet up with some friends. It's not easy, I tell you. So the campaign themselves, they will do the job of keeping you at least, I'm telling you, at least 40 hours on the PC. Each campaign will keep you 40 hours, so this is pretty big. If that's not enough for you guys, there are also pre-made scenarios within the game already. I think there are 8 pre-made scenarios, what I've seen. And of course a powerful random map generator which generates awesomely detailed and beautiful maps. And if that is still not enough, you can play multiplayer, which will keep you as well, which will keep you stuck to the computer, where you can play with up to 7 other players or enemies. So if that doesn't keep you in the game, then you probably should not have bought it. Once in game, you spend most of the time on the strategic map. I mean, there's no M button, M key to open up the map. You are on the map already. You zoom in and zoom out and have a greater overview. And you basically move around your army, which consists of a max of 6 units, and turn after turn over the beautiful designed 3D map. I have to say, the graphics are pretty awesome. I have a standard computer, and I actually did my I put the settings on high, and I actually had problems sustaining the game. So Age of Wonders 3 is definitely a graphical buff and will put your computer to the knees. I can say that at least. Right, so you walk around there turn by turn with your units and you collect resources and treasures that look like little sparkling dog poo piles. and they're mostly next to the roads somewhere. You take over towers and you visit dungeons and you kill monsters, just like in any fantasy game. It's pretty cool, very well done. Depending on the game type, you will also find a great collection of catacombs, which you see in the game behind you. We are underground, where you will dig tunnels and gather hidden treasures, just like in the other game modes, and you govern towns and outposts just you would like on the top level. So there's no difference, this is just basically like a second map. In most missions you start with a small village, what you see right here, and some units. Mostly you will have one full army with 6 units and an extra unit, and what I've experienced, usually at the very start, at the very beginning of the game, a random hero joins to offer you ranks, and you have 2 armies, pretty much, what you can start with. But this depends on the game type you're selecting. So you take over cities from opponents, or you create new cities or new villages, new outposts near resource tiles, which give you resources if those resource tiles are within your empire borders, which you can highlight, which you can see highlighted in this hexa kind of thing around here. Yeah, and the resources are basically their mana, coins, and knowledge. And some resource tiles will give you an extra to happiness or tools, which increase, tools increase, the building time of of your buildings. Instead of needing 4 turns to build a storehouse, for example, you need only 2 or 3. So you can collect that as well. In your city you can build structures such as barracks, observatories, and temples, which give you access to more special units. Or alternatively, if you have already those buildings, you can queue up production of mana, knowledge, or trading goods, which are basically money. And you can do that for a non-stop queue. So you might have an outpost which you don't want to turn into a city. You just have the outpost, keep building money or mana depending on what you need. So in the later gameplay, though, the economy aspect doesn't seem to be very important. Especially mana and knowledge is available in big quantities, at least in the beta it was. Gold was the only resource that I had trouble gaining, because I was taking over so many towns and building a lot of outposts. I was actually building them up, recruiting units and building other kind of buildings, special temples and laboratories and stuff, and the money was always really tight. I suppose it's just like in real life. If you have money, you spend it. Yeah, I had troubles to keep the gold in good quantities. Each of the 6 fractions, for example, we have human, elves, dwarves, goblins, orcs, and draconians. Oh, I love draconians, I tell you, they look cool. I actually have a draconian hero right here in this game. They have basically the same buildings. There are just a few buildings that are exclusive to the fraction, but they have but the majority of the buildings are the same with the other races as well. The same goes for the units. In order to keep they did that in order to keep the multiplayer balance. And sadly, the city management will become a bit annoying in the later gameplay, because there's no way of automatically or to automate the process, except of lining up the next building or a unit. So you always have to check your city and select the next building. Or if you just use it for a resource gathering, you have a infinite button next to the queue, which then it produces this and this and this amount of units or gold or mana. So, but there's no way of automating this, so the city doesn't grow on its own, builds buildings on its own. So you have to govern each city you build or take over. And the maps can become quite huge and easily keep you busy for hours and hours at a time. I did a let's play, let's check out series on my channel here, and this was a mid-size map, and I played. Well, each video is about half an hour long, and I'm pretty sure I've already spent 4 hours on this map. So yeah, they actually wrote on, when you select maps and the map size on very large, they put a note, a hint, tip, saying this map is very big, it may take a very long time to finish this. So this is quite nice of the devs to let you know, whoa dudes, hold on a second, you're about to play a whole lot of time on this game. Alright, towards the end of the game, you're more of, like I said, you're more of a mayor to a dozen of cities. On top of that, there are independent cities that can be taken by force, or you bribe them to join your alliance. With gold or mana, you can trade it. And in order to do that, you have a diplomacy screen, which often stays unused. I only use it if I want to try to convince the AI or the independent cities to join me, or declare war or open borders and stuff. So I don't really use it much, only if I really need it, if I can't get past something. And it only offers just a few options to convince your counterparts. So I mean, it's no civilizations. It's Age of Wonders 3, so you don't necessarily need the diplomacy. You cannot just you just build your army and crush everyone in your way. So yeah, let's talk about the fights. I'm pretty sure you've watched a lot of videos already, and you've seen fights happening all the time. So if you meet your opponent on land or on water, the view switches to a view of a separate arena. So it goes into real 3D mode, where you can rotate your camera, tilt up and down, and have complete control and view of the arena map. But it only happens if you choose to manually fight. If you have an option to auto-resolve, where you let the computer fight the AI or your human counterpart. So yeah, but it's definitely more fun, and it's more interesting to do the fights yourself. I'm gonna tell you. I was very skeptical about these tactical turn-based fights, but they are really fun. You sit there and you keep thinking, oh damn, if I do that, he's gonna flank me here, and if I attack him, I have no mana for the next spell, and he's gonna kick my ass over here. So it's really tactical, and you really got to know your units you're using, but I get to that a little bit later. The battlefield is arranged with hexatiles, just like the hexatiles you're using to move your units around on the actual map. And the fight takes place also by turn, just like the rest of the map. You command your troops as you please until you end your turn, so you can move them around as often you want, at least until their move points are used up. You definitely you have to use your brain, because the tactical I'm breaking my tongue here. The tactical behavior is a key feature of the fight. Firstly, you attack the units are able to retaliate. So you think you think you have them on their ass, and they turn around and kick your ass. And if they have if they're higher tier, they do more damage than you do to them, and they kill your unit. So you have to be careful with that. And secondly, you have a damage bonus when you flank units, and you have also damage bonus if you have a free line of sight. So positioning your units is very important, because line of sight gives additional damage if you have a unit, one of your troops in front of archers, for example. You have no clear line of sight, and you get a penalty for that. So it's pretty important. And thirdly, you can use special abilities, of course, and cast spells. So some units, your heroes, for example, they have spells and special abilities, and some units you can recruit For example, like priests or apprentices, they have special spells as well. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. And apart from the usual fireball and, you know, the healing powers, you can summon monsters that come from rifts between worlds. And, you know, you can stun enemies or ignite them in a fantasy. You can ignite a fantasy version of a bloody bomb. Like I said, the possibilities are endless, and the tactical opportunities are as well. Especially since the AI is very, very competent. It doesn't matter on what kind of difficulty you play the game. You will be surprised how good the AI reacts to your turns. You know, you think human brains over computer, but sometimes I got my butt kicked and I was like, what? That's not possible. So another thing about the fights in the campaign I came across is Siege. Sadly, I couldn't finish my random map. I was making the Let's Check Out series, so I did play the campaign, and I was also sieging a city, and they're bloody awesome. You know, you get placing units on top of the walls. You know, you give them advantage. Well, at least until the attackers, you know, tears down the walls or gates and starts storming the defending units. Flying units like fairies, for example, they can reach the defenders much more easily because they just fly over the walls. But those flying units are not awesome, just as awesome, because they can be brought back to the ground by spells, you know, gravity spells. So the fight is not limited to 2 armies actually, because if you move your units around the map together and you place them around your enemy correctly, you actually can attack the enemy with all your armies. So by doing that, there are great fights possible, big fights as well. And the winner, of course, is the one who knows the units the best. And it's very, very crucial to know what kind of defenses and resistances the units have. And to do that, you can study the abilities and the stats and all the stuff in an extensive the Tomb of Knowledge, which is a huge library of you know, special abilities, units, races, classes, and all that stuff. So it's really, really big, really cool. So, but let's not forget about the hero. In the end, you create your hero in your picture, what your hero, what you would look like, for example. You discover the map with him, and he accompanies your troops, and you fight with them. You fight with your heroes with sword, bow, and spells. Units and heroes do level up, and the hero can be given skill points to certain abilities or stats. For example, you know, give them more points, you know, to your health pool, or level up another ability of the hero. And together with gear, you can find, for example, if you win a fight, you will be given for a mount, for example, or some boots or stuff. Maybe you find the sword somewhere. You can customize your hero with that stuff to your liking. And if you find stuff that you don't like, you just send it to some other hero. Like a Age of Wonders 3 parcel service. So, when doing campaigns, your hero actually takes the levels and the given points with him, but on random maps and scenarios, I think you have to spend the points over and over again, which kinda, you know, might get annoying if you play maps very frequently. The missions design, I have to say, it's pretty tiring over time, because at the moment it's more like destroy all enemies. You know, the fantasy story can't really, you know, satisfy it. It's all the same. It's I don't think there hasn't been much time spent on the missions. So, for example, I'm kind of missing the strong characters and, you know, surprising turns of events. Even though you did your decision, you know, you did one of your 2 decisions, and it just happens like you decide. There's no, you know, no surprising turn of events where you think, oh damn, I didn't expect that. So the storyline is barely, oh no, the story actually is, well, it's, what do you say, is being read to you. So the main story goes on it's you know, has audio. It's being read to you in a window of text. So there's not some of the actual games, the current games, you know, they have a full audio support. Even MMOs have full audio support. If I think, you know, of Star Wars, not Star Wars Galaxies. What's the Star Wars game? Ah, damn. The Old Republic, Star Wars: The Old Republic. It's all full of audio, so you don't have to read. But here, you know, instead of cutscenes, you have a still picture, and the few conversations within a quest or a task you have to do, they have no audio either, so you have to read through it. So I think in 2014 we should have, you know, we should have quests that, you know, have full audio support. But I mean, no one plays Age of Wonders 3 because of the story. But more because fans had to wait more than 10 years for a sequel of the series. Yeah. So yeah, the main story is supported by audio. The little stuff is not. So I don't really mind. I'm okay with reading through the missions every now and then. So it's not too bad. Right, on the world map you can research sorcery, which you gain from which you can gain permanent bonuses on blight damage, for example, or you change the terrain around enemy or friendly cities in order to give your troops, you know, faster travel speed, because you're depending on the race you pick, your troops are going to like some terrain more than others. And you also, you know, those spells are world spells that, you know, get effect on the world map. So that's pretty cool. I actually changed around, you know, when I was playing with orcs, I changed the surrounding areas around my cities from tropical into barrens, because they like barrens and they travel faster, and the happiness raises up as well. So that's really cool. And you feel like you're a powerful magician. You know, you change the surrounding areas, you terraform your stuff. That's pretty cool. You also research spells for fights, of course, you know, like lightning or fireballs or healing abilities. And you can research also stuff to improve your city, you know, faster building, or what was the other one? Or when you research certain spells, you can unlock, you know, some more specific buildings, you know, race-specific buildings, for example. These research spells are, you know, they depend on the class of your hero. So Age of Wonders 3 is not only an awesome game for game fans, for genre fans, it's a great piece to represent the small but great area of PC games. So yeah, those are just the main things I wanted to talk about. So yeah, guys, this is just a little, you know, summary of the experience I have had with Age of Wonders 3. I mean, it's not only an awesome game, in my opinion, for genre fans. It's also it's a great game to represent the small but great area of PC games. You know, those turn-based games, but it also has some pros and cons. For example, multiplayer supports online finds and LAN, and via hot seat you can play multiplayer on one PC as well. And for example, the graphics, like I said before, they use the processing power of current PCs really good, and they will probably force weaker PCs in their knees. You know, like I said, I have a mid-range computer, and you really need to read, you know, the required hardware, so you don't buy the game and your computer can't even run it. So yeah. Well, this is the summary for you know, my experience. I hope I could give you some sort of an idea on what you know, what the game is kind of like. I know the you know, the video in the background is not synced up with the stuff I was saying, but you know, it gives you a little overview of the game while I was talking. So yeah, I hope you like the, you know, impressions of a noob. And if so, please leave a comment in the comment section below. If you didn't like it, you can also leave a comment or press the dislike button. But it would be cool to get some constructive criticism. Other than that, yeah, I hope I'm going to buy the game myself, and I hope we'll see each other in some multiplayer games sometime soon. So yeah, my name is Gorax, and take care.